What up, Schmoedown rockers? Sorry for my nieces and nephews doing this. I wanted to kind of get this out of the way since while it's fresh a little bit. Hold on, let me get some light in there a little bit. For Pete's sake. All right. Yeah. The Schmoedown Throwdown. Starting with the undercard of Deep 13, which consists of Alonzo Duralde and Whitney Seibold of the Burning Druids versus Final Exam of Swag Squad, consisting of Lon Harris. Lon Harris now goes by the Delinquent as opposed to Professor, and Primetime Paulo Yama, OG Dungeon. Always forever Bill B. You will have a place come back eventually. If for some reason you are not kept in with swag still, who knows. But it seems things in terms of the teams, at least this time around, has gone over much better. So it would seem, and as this match would have considered. And shout out to a couple of those in the action, certain people in the Action Army and / the Gucciverse in the form of Larry Payne. Anyways, that match was just intense, a pretty good 3-rounder. I don't think there was a challenge. I can't remember, but thanks to Larry, Orlando himself, Kanye West, as he likes to call himself, I guess, for hosting this. Even though it's not our Patreon, and I will be rewatching it that way. I've threw up a like, and hopefully when it goes public, as I'm hoping it does, before because it's going to have to because of this undercard. I had Final Exam going into this because I did honestly feel as though Deep 13, though good as they are, they seem to, and it did put up a fight here. And I think it was like close in by 2 points, and I think they got both players wound up getting their strengths in round 2. But it seemed like Oyama between him and Harris wound up mostly being the one to bring the points. I don't know I can't remember if he went perfect or not. I don't think anybody did. It was hard to keep up because there was such lag from so many people involved in that Zoom. But anyways, it was one heck of a match. I was hoping for Final Exam to go because I think they would have been a much better and much tougher challenge for the Pride, and that's what's going to happen in the next undercard. And I don't know if the Pride's going to be able to bring it, and I feel like Final Exam will be a good test run for that, since both Lon and Oyama have certain forms of greater sense of experience. And Lon, not to mention Lon finally has a good partner in Primetime, and it seems he's fine both with finally. And this was a good test in the virtual for the teams, which I've seen being done through families in a similar sense before, and it seems to still work here, even more so than before. Of course, with Ken now as acting manager, and he did fine. He was able to do his thing for them. As was when Winston doing some hysterical stuff. I can't even remember. I wish I could remember exact, but more people will talk more on it when they get the chance. But it was still good. It was nice. I think they wound up getting the 5. And I'm talking it over. I don't know if they missed one of. I think Oyama wound up missing the 3, unfortunately. But when it came to doing the conversing, which they'd have to still do the way that the family leaders would have to do, and I've seen it done before, so that way. So I was used to that, I guess. I knew it was going to have to work if somehow places like Jode or whatever were able to try to make it work. Of course, they're going to have to make it work virtually. It was just a matter of, having the good connections and all that stuff necessary to be able to do it. And luckily, there was no issues in that regard, even though despite the way I watched it saying otherwise. But I feel like when I watch the playback, it'll be different. But overall, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this match. I'm happy to see that Final Exam will be facing the Pride. I do think that will also be a really close match. Even for that being an undercard. And then it got to a somewhat controversial Ethan Erwin versus John Rocha 2. This time, not a number of contendership. And John... And a lot of people were having John or were hoping that he would redeem himself. And it seems somehow... It basically was a really strong matchup in the sense that it wound up going all 3 rounds. And each of them having to hit... And each of them had a good round 2. It was a rough enough start that they weren't able to get perfect rounds at all. But it seems they started picking back up in round 2. Although when it came to both hitting their strengths, despite the one thing happening to where they basically played the game and played into whatever Mark was doing, I guess. And not being specific, but that was considered controversy, even though for some reason Merle had said something that wasn't picked up on, that no one else seems to have picked up on, and I'm thinking that maybe from backstage they might have said something. I just can't remember exactly what it was, and that might have been what Merle was probably suggesting, but I can't think of what it was. I remember. And eventually it will come to pass when is it the fact that maybe Rocha did kind of have the right answer? I mean, not the thing that wound up happening in the sudden death, which unfortunately he couldn't use a JTE rule when he needed it there since he used it on the last question, which he needed to help him write it down proper, even though he had the answer correct. It was a similar situation that had happened with corruption. With the first corruption versus... a Founding Fathers match for during the Anarchy tournament, in that David O. Russell situation for Merle. But in his case, it was another Jane Fonda situation. But he said the right answer. And if Merle's questioning that's kind of weird, given that he had actually, unless he mentions it, unless they decide to spoil something and actually mention it on this week's Backstage. Not sure what they could do with that, though, since if they can or be allowed to talk about it or not, given that it hasn't publicly aired since it's only $10 patrons right now. And I'm guessing the lower tier ones will have it on Tuesday or something. I don't know when they're going to air that one, though. Maybe Thursday they'll probably have to air it so that the new one that comes out Friday happens or something. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But it was a tight match. He wasn't able to get the 5 hit with that answer, that Men in Black question. I couldn't remember what that one was either. That would have been a tough pull anyway for anybody. But overall, the matches were enjoyable enough that I could at least take my head out of everything that's happened with the fortunate, on my end, results of what came to be in the IG, which is why I'm waiting for that all to be made up for in this upcoming match. Go Smash, but we are not sleeping on you, Chandra. We know what you did the last time. We expect the same. And we are ready for it. We're ready for it, and we should be. Don't expect that flub you saw in the exhibition, Lord of the Rings exhibition, to come about. Expect. Or what maybe slight little ones that were in the championship match, but not enough to really do anything against him, necessarily. But yeah. Despite that, through these exhibitions, the best that we can do is have bragging rights, and we still have that. Despite where we are in standings, which we're not too bad right now in standings just at the moment. And hopefully we can maintain and keep ourselves from being dead last. Yeah. Even if IG's the only championship conversation we have, and I'm hoping that still will be the case this coming matchup. So, oh yeah, like most people have Smets, but I have Smets for obvious reasons, and I know and I believe in him. I don't know if everyone else is just going to jump off ship from Smets after he loses, like they did to Parker, and it's going to piss me off. It's really going to piss me off when that happens. Well. Anyways, what did you guys think? Leave a comment below. Let me know. As always, guys, keep it random. Those are my thoughts that I could gather fresh from having watched it at the 2 days. Fresh and from what I can remember, from what I've seen, 2 days afterwards. Again, nice to have been in the Action Army and have Londo actually allow us to watch it with him. I can, even though I'm a $10 patron, and I will probably rewatch it anyway, and probably try to get some thumbnails in for this one, which you will eventually have already seen by the time you clicked on this video. So, if you like this video, and maybe the other one I just did, involving the finals as well, which I forgot to mention on there, rock that like button with Thrust if you must there. Also a link in the description to my Facebook page. You can like and follow me there. We're at Rockin' Movies with Tyler. The follow-up, and then the when I say follow-up, and then there is the also the yes, click the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, as well as click the notification bell. Well, but anyways, as always, it's Rockin' Movies Tyler. I'm Tyler. This has been Schmoedown Rocks. And keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. We dig it.